So I'm going to take a few minutes today and I'm going to talk to you about a life lesson that I learned from, of all things, a beach ball. A beach ball. There's so many things that happen in life that could teach us lessons, but this one was a lesson I needed to learn. I went through life with my own perspective, thinking everybody thought the same way I did, thinking that everybody had the same attitude that I did, thinking that everybody saw the world the same way I did. All of a sudden I realized that if I take this beach ball and I hold it like this, all right, you can't see my face, but I tell you what, I see three colors. I see orange, green, and blue. Now, when I hold it like this, it looks like you see red and white. So the colors that I see are correct and the colors that you see are correct. Neither of us are wrong. We can both agree that this is a beach ball, but we see it from a different angle. If we put it out over here, there's a different angle. Out over here, there's a different angle. So everything is based on perspective. What is your perspective? All right. I've seen a lot of people get angry. I've seen a lot of people get upset because they can't have a conversation with somebody because they have a different perspective. Well, I'll tell you what, if you grew up in a different household, you have a different perspective. If you grew up in the same household, you have a different perspective because it's life events, it's genetics. All of these come into play based on what your perspective is. The greatest thing is that my perspective and your perspective, we can put together the fact that that's a beach ball in front of us. And then we can accomplish great things by understanding what it is we're looking at, even though you and I are looking at two different angles or two different facets or two different facades, whatever word you want to use. Individually, if I look at a beach ball and I say that it's red and blue and I argue and I argue and I argue, guess what? I'm right. The person on the other side sees yellow and orange and they argue and they argue and they argue that they're right. You know what? They're right. But the only thing that we're doing is we're hurting each other because I'm not seeing from your perspective, you're not seeing from my perspective. I get angry at you, you get angry at me, and then all of a sudden that relationship is gone. Relationships are so important to our way of life. We are relationship people. We were created to have relationships. Just talk to everybody recently who is going through about a depression as a result of COVID-19, right? They have to separate themselves. There's a lot of people that have gone through very, very bad cases of depression. The point that I'm trying to make is we're relationship people. We can't argue at all about perspective. Perspective doesn't mean that I'm wrong. Perspective doesn't mean that you're right. But we should embrace the fact that you and I each have a different perspective, and how do we come together and create a solution based on our perspectives? We could create great solutions based on our perspectives because we see the problem or we see the situation from a different angle, and then we can together achieve more. I'd like you to give a thumbs up or like this video. I'd also like you to subscribe. I've got my phone number and my email address on the screen. Reach out to me. I'd love to have a discussion with you about perspective, about growth setting, about time management, about productivity, whatever it is. I'd love to talk with you. This is Coach Bob, North Coast High Performance Teams.